City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.
Kia ora tonight on City News. Rotorua Music Theatre is celebrating a spectacular season of Mamma Mia. Rotorua Lakes Council announced their first performing arts summer school, and after a win at the weekend, the Chiefs are ready to take on the Highlanders. But first, it was a busy weekend for the Rotorua-based Bay Trust rescue helicopter, which was dispatched to Okere on Saturday afternoon to assist ambulance crews with a man suffering from a medical event. Ambulances were initially dispatched, but the helicopter was called due to the seriousness of the man's condition. The helicopter met the ambulances at a rest area on State Highway 33 and then transported a 58-year-old Auckland man to Waikato Hospital. Shortly after landing back in Rotorua, the helicopter was again called to fly a CCU crew to Whakatane Hospital. A 77-year-old Whakatane man required urgent transport to Waikato Hospital for treatment. Rotorua Musical Theatre are celebrating a successful season of their latest production, Mamma Mia, with their last show being held on Saturday night. The highly anticipated show was a treat for ABBA and musical theatre fans, with audiences wowed by the impressive local cast.
We've had people say it's as good as any show they have seen anywhere, and they ask me, because I'm on front of house, how many people from Rotorua are in your cast? And I say, the whole cast. The leads? Yes, the leads as well. And they look at me as if to think, it's amazing.
The theatre are now on to their next show, with auditions for Nonsense taking place in a few weeks' time. And the creative community continues to grow, with Rotorua Lakes Council's first performing arts summer school set to wow the community with Broadway global smash hit Hairspray. Summer school students aged 14 to 21 years will perform the popular musical as the inaugural Sir Howard Morrison Performing Arts Centre summer school production at the end of January 2016. Council Creative Communities Portfolio Lead, Councillor Glenna Sarank, says preparations were underway to run summer school in December and January and to plan for the summer school's Hairspray production. Children were celebrated yesterday at the annual Children's Day, where local tamariki enjoyed a day out and activities planned around town. The Redwoods provided lots of opportunities for exploration, with nature-based art and craft and music proving a hit with all ages.
Jody.
Swiper, no swiping!
In sport tonight, after a very dominant performance on Saturday night, which saw the Chiefs crush the somewhat understrength Crusaders side 40-16, another southern side comes knocking. Next up for the informed Chiefs are the Highlanders on Friday night, where they will expect another tough challenge. While coach Dave Rennie admitted there was some injury concerns, namely lock and all-black Retallick, who appeared to suffer a knock to his shoulder, he was confident there was enough depth in the squad for the tough encounter this week. He says the Highlanders will head to Waikato knowing that they've beaten the Chiefs there before and take confidence from that, but he certainly won't be looking at it lightly. Friday night's game kickoff is at 7:35 p.m. Now to your weather. Tonight, fine with light winds and an overnight low of 15. Tomorrow, Tuesday, cloudy periods, light mainly northeast winds, a high of 22 and a low of 15. And looking out to Wednesday, cloudy periods, light mainly northeast winds, a high of 22 and a low of 15. And the marine weather forecast, Variable 5 knots but northerly to 10 knots during the afternoon, with waves less than half a metre, and there'll be cloudy periods. Still to come tonight on City News, we're at Western Heights Pharmacy to find out about their 100-kilometre trail walk for Oxfam, and Kitty Danielle talks about her involvement with a new TV series, Battling Dumped Rubbish.
Western Heights Pharmacy is putting their best foot forward in order to raise funds for Oxfam. With me today, I'm joined by operator and owner Cameron Monteith. Cameron, Oxfam, what is Oxfam for our local community who don't quite know?
Well, Oxfam's it's a multinational charity. It's been operating for several years now, with a great presence in Europe and in America. Relatively limited here in New Zealand, but we're trying to change that. And its main aim is to wipe out poverty across the world. It does a great amount of work in the developing world.
Absolutely. So whereabouts is it currently working its most strongest?
Certainly in Latin America, it has a significant presence. It also does a reasonable amount of disaster relief. So when there are things like tsunamis, earthquakes, etc., it certainly shows up there and does its best.
And so why Oxfam for you? With all the other charities out there, what is it about Oxfam that really gets home?
I think it's sort of related to the job we do here within the community. We try and help people who are struggling to help themselves. That's part of our job. And it just seems to have a synergy with what Oxfam does.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the team down here at the Western Heights Pharmacy. How many members have you got partaking?
We've got 3 of us from the pharmacy, and one of our members' husbands is coming along.
And what day is the actual fundraiser on?
It's Saturday and Sunday, the 28th and 29th of March, so we've only got a month to go.
Only a month to go, so then you must have a really good training regimen.
Yeah, we're going at it pretty hard. The ladies more so than me, and it's not because I don't need it, I certainly do. But the ladies, for example, Dana, one of our team members and the leader of our team, she did 40 kilometres on Saturday and backed up with 30 kilometres on Sunday. So that's an example of a pretty busy and committed weekend for her.
Very nice. And where are all your donations and supporters coming from?
Well, mostly the community. We have had a couple of people. I've got some mates in Oz who have donated, but mostly from the community. For example, we held a sausage sizzle and cake stall on Saturday, and it was fantastic to see people just walking past and really being generous. Considering where we are, it's a tough end of town, but they've been really generous, and I'm really impressed with what we've done. Very
nice. Now, speaking of generosity, how long have you taken part in Oxfam for?
This is our first year, but it's something that we intend, if we survive, I'm sure we will. I really hope we can back up next year and continue that.
So Cameron, the pharmacy has been in our Rotorua community for quite a while now, hasn't it?
Yes, in fact, my father-in-law sort of owned the business for 30 years prior to us taking over a couple of years ago. So we've got quite a family legacy here, and we've hopefully been doing a great job. Certainly the community seems to think so.
Oh, well, we definitely think so, because this is not the first fundraiser you've taken part in, is it?
No, we've got every year or so we try to do something special. As I mentioned before, this is the first time we've looked after Oxfam, but we'll try and do it again next year.
Absolutely. So just for our Rotorua community members out there that can donate towards your wonderful cause, how do they do that?
Probably the easiest way is to go via the internet. The website is www.oxfamtrailwalker.org.nz, and if they can search for our team name, we're called the M&M's.
Nice. Why is that the name?
All of our surnames start in M, so it made sense for us.
Or is it easy also for people just to come down here to the Rotorua Western Heights Pharmacy?
Absolutely. Just pop on in. We've got a charity box that people can drop there. Any donation and any amount would be really greatly appreciated.
Thank you so very much for your time. There you have it, Rotorua Community Oxfam. Google it, see what it's about, or come down and see the team at the Western Heights Pharmacy. Well, Rotorua, look who made it to our mailbox this morning. Local TV personality and one of my favourite co-hosts, Kiri Danielle. Kiri, why are we seeing your beautiful picture on the paper this morning?
Oh, kia ora, Mel. Thank you, first of all, for calling me a friend. Even though we're in the same business, we are friends, and it's a pleasure to be on the other end of the microphone today. So I'm just absolutely rapt because finally, after so many years of hard work and just having to try and push poo-poos uphill and rubbish uphill, I've finally made it onto the mainstream network, Māori television, and able to get this message out about rubbish ruining our country. So I couldn't be happier, and when I saw that I was on the front page, I actually had my headphones on and I went into the service station out at Nongotaha and I saw it and I went like this, and it was really loud, and I turned around and everyone in the station had looked, but I was happy it was on the front page because the issue is on the front page, and that made me really, really happy because I can be on any page anytime, but that issue, front page.
Very nice. So just to confirm with our locals, Kiri, you've been working hard in a production called Kaitiaki Wars, haven't you? And that is the reason why you are on that paper. That is the reason why Rotorua has stood up and taken notice of your hard work and your contribution. So please talk to us about Kaitiaki Wars.
Okay, so Kaitiaki Wars was the brainchild of Martin Cleave, and he is this amazing producer, an international producer and a reality whiz, and he was looking for someone to appear on his show about people who are fighting to save their land, their cultural identity, and make a difference. And so Julian Wilcox, thank you Julian, had been watching my work, and he mentioned me to Martin, and Martin gave me a call and interrogated me for about an hour to see if I was legit, and then right at the end of the conversation he goes, well actually Kitty, you know, we'll be down next week, and I was like, oh okay, great, they're going to come in, like do a little piece with me. And then when we finished that day they said, well actually Kitty, you're on all 13 episodes. So it was I was filming it before I actually knew what was happening, but I couldn't be more excited. A little bit nervous because some of it's quite confrontational, and the way that I like to do things, hopefully you'll all know, is with a bit of peace and love and some gentleness, which I find can open more doors that way. So it's a little bit controversial, and it's definitely going to challenge people in this country. We have rested on our clean green image for too long, and the reality is we're not. And it just so happens, Mel, that I didn't know we were having this interview today either, and I just happened to pick up this rubbish this morning. So I was in Tauranga and was driving back between Tauranga and Rotorua on the Pies Pa Road is a stream called Ohopara. And there is a large statue there, a large wood carving of a wahine toa, of a woman, and at her feet, just at her feet, this is how much rubbish I found. So I'm going to show you, and this was in an area no bigger than, no bigger than about 10 car parks. All of this, and really, really sad to see. So what I'm really disappointed to see is the amount of rubbish, the carelessness, the thoughtlessness. When I say carelessness, first of all, I mean people who are putting these on the side of the road, in children's parks, in rest stops. You know, those are going to get into our children's feet. That's not fair. It's not fair that adults do that for our children. These here, this is an example of simple things that can actually be recycled, and they will never ever pollute Papatuanuku. They'll never pollute the earth. You know, these things are everywhere. Again, completely recyclable. So it's going to take me, I'm going to do this in 30 seconds. I'm going to get all of the recyclables, all of the things that could be recycled, and put them all into a container. I'll put them all over here. All of these things could be. So we've got cardboard there. Look at all the cups of coffee. You know, all of our people that are drinking either alcohol or coffee or V's on the way to work, energy drinks. You're throwing it straight out the window.
So that's almost a third of what we have here, plus paper obviously can be recycled, Kitty. Is there a theme? Is there a common theme of what you're finding?
Along the roadways, absolutely. The common theme is drinks. Along the roads in towns, the common theme is children's lunchbox food. In some of the areas just out of town, maybe 10 k's out of town, the common theme is takeaways, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Wendy's, all thrown out the window once the meal is finished. Another common theme is in some of the longer drags of New Zealand, like the Desert Road, you get people who have a feed and then they get everything they've got from the supermarket, they tie it all up very nicely and then they biff it. And they biff it out the window, and so I find those all the time. Packets, you know, so thoughtful to put it all in one container, but they could have waited and put it in the rubbish bin. So I guess this is my point, Mel. You know, we've got just this incredible amount of thoughtlessness and waste in our country. This is clean green New Zealand. This isn't made up. This is our reality.
This is our reality, and this is what people around the world don't know about us. So, Kitty, what we'll do is we'll cut to a break and we'll come back with part 2, Kitty Danielle and Kaitiaki Wars. Kia ora, welcome back. Again, we have Kitty Danielle, local TV personality, talking about the amazing new show coming up, Kaitiaki Wars. Kaitiaki Wars now have seen a little trailer that has been online, and I thought to myself, how can you do it? How can you go up to someone's place, someone's property with their rubbish and then say, hey, look, I found this, and then educate them? What was that process like?
Well, you know what? Ironically, some people in Rotorua may have met me before coming to their doors, because for 7 years before I got into television, I was actually a Jehovah's Witness. So every week I'd be going to people's doors and I would be nervous because politics and religion, people don't want to talk about it. So that time definitely prepared me to go to a door unafraid of being asked to leave, and unafraid to try and reach their heart and draw out something that I could work with. And, you know, for me, of course I was scared of physical threats or physical violence. I'm only a little thing, so I was really lucky. A couple of really lovely people joined in and supported, and I need to give Marama Meikle and Michael State some props there, because they basically just, you know, turned up one day and said, you know what, Kitty, we're going to support you, and they were there for the duration of the show, and so I'm very grateful for them and their support, and they continue to do work around the community, so good on them. I was scared, but I knew I was in the right. And when we had the evidence, when we had the address clearly, and when we went and knocked on the door, we always said, does so-and-so live here? You know, because you've got to take that into account. Maybe moved, maybe someone else threw it out. But 9 times out of 10, we found who the rubbish belonged to, and most of the reactions were all right. You're going to have to watch the show to see what some of them were, because some of the situations got heated. But what's really important to me is not that people are shamed or humiliated in public, because that's not what this is about. It's about creating an awareness of what we're doing to our country. Also too, I do want people who are rubbish dumpers, when they're watching this show with their family members or their friends or their bros, and their bros and friends go, oh, look at that, who would do that? What a lazy person. Hopefully rubbish dumpers will go, oh, you know what, I might just change that practice, because it's not really very socially acceptable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So ultimately what I'm trying to do is heal Papa Tuanuku back after she healed me.
Well, what a beautiful journey, Kitty. So can you please tell me, or tell all of us what it was like, what the experience was like for you and how it changed and evolved you?
It was one of the most satisfying and exciting times that I've had so far with this work, because all I could think about was, it's working, the message is getting out there, people are listening, people are taking notice. Because seriously, who wants to look at someone pick up rubbish? But it's the message that's behind it, and it's the fact that I don't just want to do this for me because I don't like looking at rubbish. I actually want to do this for me and my children and their children, because this is the tip of an iceberg. It's the canary in the coal mine, so to speak. It's a very good way of taking the temperature of our environmental conscience. And so if we can address the little things, and if we think to ourselves, now someone in Australia asked me to please put this online. He said to me, Kitty, when you go out and you do your thing, can you please put this out there? If you drop one piece, pick up two. So you're always in credit. You're never going into deficit. You're always in credit. So if you do drop a piece by mistake, if you drop one, pick up two. There you go, my friend in Aussie. He'll be very happy about that. I'll send him the link.
So, okay, for our locals out there that are interested in watching this, and I know it's on Māori television, but hey, we're here to tautoko you, and we're here to tautoko anyone who looks after our beautiful green planet. Can you please let us know when it's going to air and where we can find it?
Sure. So if you go over to Māori television on Tuesday night, 8 p.m, it's going to be on there. You can also get it on demand on the Māori television website. And if you come onto Facebook and you pop in Kitty Danielle, you'll find my page there, which, you know, I kind of share my journey. And there's also a Clean New Zealand page, which is specifically for my next step, which is moving on from just Rotorua.
Very, very nice. Thank you so very much for your time, and it's a pleasure to see you again.
Oh, kia ora,
very
babe.
good.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Rotorua Kaitiaki Wars coming to our TV screens Tuesday. So make sure you pop over to Māori television and check it out.
That was Melanie Groves talking with Kitty Danielle about her involvement in a new TV series, Kaitiaki Walls. You can catch up with City News via our website or YouTube channel. Just search City News Rotorua. We hope you've enjoyed your weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight for Māori Air.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News on TV Rotorua was proudly brought to you by Trade Central.